Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai. We've been reading quite a bit about the sacredness of Vibhuti, the sacred ash. And we're going to proceed on now to chapter 16 of book 11 of the Srimad, Devi Bhagavatam, and read excerpts from this very long chapter. Narayana said, "Now I am speaking of the very holy Sandhya worship of Gayatri, the presiding deity of the morning, midday, and evening, and of the twice-born. Listen. The greatness of using sacred ash has been described in detail. No further need be stated on this subject. I shall talk first of all of the morning Sandhya. This morning Sandhya is to be done early in the morning while the stars are still visible. When the sun is in the meridian, the midday Sandhya is to be performed, and while the sun is visibly going down, the evening Sandhya is to be recited. Now, again, the distinctions are made in the above three Sandhyas. The morning with stars seen is the best, with stars disappeared, middling, and with the sun risen above the horizon, inferior. So the evening is of three kinds, best, middling, and inferior. When the sun is visibly disappearing, the evening Sandhya is the best. When the sun has gone down on the horizon, it is middling. And when the stars are visible, it is inferior. The Brahmanas are the root of the tree, the Sandhya Vandana. The Vedas are the branches. The religious actions are the leaves. Its roots should be carefully preserved. If the roots be cut, no branches or leaves of the tree will remain. That Brahmana who knows not his Sandhya, or who does not perform the Sandhya after his death, verily becomes a dog. Therefore the Sandhyas must be observed on every day. Otherwise no right comes at all to do any actions. At the sunrise and the sunset, the time for Sandhya is 2 dandas, 48 minutes. And if Sandhya be not done, or rather neglected in the interval, the penance is to be paid. If the proper time for the Sandhya expires, one more offering of agya is to be made in addition to the 3 agyas daily made, or the Gayatri, is to be repeated 108 times before the Sandhya is commenced. In whichever time any action ought to be done, worship, first of all, the Sandhya Devi, the presiding deity of that time, and do the actions proper to that afterwards. The Sandhya performed in dwelling houses is ordinary. Sandhya done in enclosures of cows is middling, and the Sandhya done on the banks of the rivers is good, and the Sandhya performed before the Devi's temple or the Devi's seat is very excellent. The Sandhya Pasana ought to be done before the Devi, because that is the worship of the very Devi. The 3 Sandhyas done before the Devi give infinitely excellent fruits. There is no other work of the Brahmanas better than this Sandhya. One can rather avoid worshipping Shiva or Vishnu, because that is not daily done as obligatory, but the Sandhya Pasana ought to be done daily. The Gayatri of the great Devi is the essence of all mantras in the Vedas. In the Veda Sastras, the worship of Gayatri is most definitely pronounced. Brahma and the other devas meditate in the Sandhya at the Sandhya times on this Devi Gayatri and make a japam of that. The Vedas always make japams of her. For this reason, the Gayatri has been mentioned as the object of worship of the Vedas. The Brahmanas are called Saktas, inasmuch as they worship the primal Shakti, the divine force, Gayatri, the mother of the Vedas. They are not Shaivas or Vaishnavas. So the worship of is to wash your hands and your mouth, and then inhale the air by the left nostril, close both the nostrils, and exhale the air by the right nostril. Thus pranayama is affected. While doing paraka, kumbhaka, and rakaka, repeat the Gayatri every time. Hold the right nostril with the right thumb, and hold the left nostril with the ring finger and the little finger. Do not use forefinger and middle finger. The yogi who have control of their minds say that pranayama is affected by the three processes, paraka, kumbhaka, and rakaka. The external air is inhaled in paraka. Air is not exhaled nor inhaled. It is retained inside in the kumbhaka, and air is exhaled in the rakaka. While doing paraka, meditate on the navel, the four-armed, high-souled Vishnu of the blue color, like the blue lotus. While doing kumbhaka, meditate in the heart lotus, the four-faced grandsire Brahma, Prajapati, the creator seated on the lotus. And while doing rakaka, meditate on the forehead, on the white, sin-destroying Shankara, purest crystal. In paraka, the union with the Vishnu is obtained. In kumbhaka, the knowledge of Brahma is attained. And in rakaka, the highest position of Ishvara, Lord Shiva, is attained. This is the method of Archaman according to the Puranas. Now I'm speaking of all the sin-destroying Archaman. Listen. Reciting the Gayatri mantra, Om Bhur Bhuva, sip a little water. This is the Vedic Archaman. After repeating the 7 great Vayahritas, Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swa, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Satyam, repeat Gayatri and practice pranayama 3 times. Hereby all sins are destroyed and all virtues spring. Now another sort of pranayama mudra is described. The Vanapriestess and the Grihastas would do pranayama with the 5 fingers, holding the tip of the nose. The brahmacharis and yatis would do the pranayama with the thumb, little finger, and ring finger, avoiding the middle and forefinger. Offer once in the midday, and 3 times in the morning, and 3 times in the evening. While offering the arghya in the morning, bend yourself a little low. In the offering it in the midday, stand up, and while offering the arghya in the evening, it can be done while sitting. Now I will tell you why the arghya is offered to the sun here. 30 Koti Rakshasas, known as the Mandoas, always roam on the path of the sun. They are great heroes, treacherous and ferocious. They always try to devour the sun, while they assume terrible forms. For this reason, the Devas and the Rishis combined offer the water with their folded hands to the sun, while they perform the great Sandhya Upasana. The water thus offered becomes transformed into the thunderbolt and burns the heads of these cruel demons. Therefore, the Brahmanas daily do their Sandhya Pasana. Infinite merits accrue from this. O Narada, now I'm speaking to you of the mantras pertaining to the arghya. No sooner they are pronounced, the full effects of performing the sandhyas are obtained. I am that sun, I am that light, I am that Atman, self, I am Shiva, I am the light of Atman. I am clear and transparently white. I am of the nature of all energy, and I am the nature of rasa. the sweetness, all the sweet sentiments. O Devi, O Gayatri, O thou, who art the nature of Brahmana, let thee come and preside in my heart to grant me success in the japa karma. O Devi, O Gayatri, entering into my heart, go out again with this water, but thou wouldst have to come again. Sit thus on a pure seat, and with a single intent repeat the Gayatri, the mother of the Vedas. O Muni, in this Sanya Pasana, the Kachari Mudra ought to be done after practicing the pranayama. Hear now the meaning of the Kachari Mudra. When the soul of a being leaves the objects of sense, it roams in the akasa. It becomes aimless when the tongue also goes to the akasa and roams there. And then the sight is fixed between the eyebrows. This is called Kachari Mudra. There is no asana, seat, equal to the siddhasana, and there is no vayu, air, equal to the kambaka, vayu, suspension of air in the body. After taking the seat, invoke the Gayatri. O Mother of the Vedas, O Gayatri, thou art the Devi, granting boons to the bhaktas. Thou art of the nature of Brahma. Be gracious unto me, O Devi. Whoever worships thee in the day gets his day sins destroyed, and in the night, night sins destroyed. O thou, who art the letters of all alphabets, O Devi, O Sandhya, O thou who art of the nature of Vidya, O Saraswati, O Ajaya, and thou, O thou immortal, free from disease and decay, O Mother who art all the Devas, I bow down to thee, invoke the Devi, again by the mantra, and then pray. O Mother, let my japam and other acts in this worship be fulfilled with success by thy grace. Next, for the freedom of the curse of Gayatri, do the things properly. Brahma gave a curse to Gayatri, Vishvamitra gave a curse to her, and Vashishta also cursed her. These are the three curses. They are removed in due order by recollecting Brahma, Vishvamitra, and Vashishta. Before doing Nyasa, one ought to collect oneself and remember the highest self. Think in the lotus of the heart that Purusha, who is truth, who is all this universe, who is the highest self, and who is all knowledge, and who cannot be comprehended by words. Thus the Nyasa is the world mother. The beauty of, then meditate on Gayatri, or the world mother. The beauty of the body of the Gayatri Devi is like that of the full-blown Java flower. She is seated on the big red lotus and on the back of the flamingo. She is holding the red-colored garland on her neck and anointed with red-colored scents. Thou hast 4 faces. Every face has 2 eyes. On her 4 hands are the wreath of flowers, a sacrificial ladle, a bead, and a kamandal. She is blazing with all sorts of ornaments. From the Devi, Gayatri has originated first the Rig Veda. Brahma worships the Virgin Gayatri on the ideal of Sri Parameshvar Gayatri. Has 4 feet. The Rig Veda is 1. The Yajur Veda is the 2nd. The Sama Veda is the 3rd. And the Artha Veda is the 4th foot. The Gayatri has 8 bellies. The east side is the 1. The south is the 2nd. The west is the 3rd. The north is the 4th. The zenith is the 5th. The nadis is the 6th. The intermediate space is the 7th, and all the corners are the 8th belly. Gayatri has 7 heads. Grammar is one. Science, which teaches the proper pronunciation of words and laws, is another. The 3rd one prescribes rules for the ceremonial and sacrificial acts. The 4th one gives explanations of the obscure words, especially those occurring in the Vedas. The 5th one is history. The Puranas is the 6th head. The Upanishads is the 7th head. And Agni, the fire, is the mouth of Gayatri. Radha is the chief part. Vishnu is the heart of Gayatri, and Brahma is the armor of Gayatri. Think of this Maheshvara Gayatri. Think of this Maheshvari Gayatri in the middle of the solar orb. O Narada, the Brahmanas are to perform daily the Sanyopasana, repeating the Gayatri mantra, completely adopting the rules above prescribed, and then he will be able to enjoy completely pleasures, happiness, and bliss. Here ends the 16th chapter of the 11th book of the description of Sandhya Upasana in the Mahapurana, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Veda Vyasa. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshwari Mata ki jai, Bole Baba ki jai.